Hello, it's me Tommy and this is Tommy's Vinylnaut and this time fully in English even we are going to talk about Finnish Schager. Morten put out a thread self-titled album but not the debut album. So I had time, I went through my albums and noticed that this is quite hard to do with pop rock albums that are in my collection because it seems that in punk and metal they always have proper name from the albums. But in Schlager genre there are several examples of self-titled albums by the artists in different period of their career. Usually, of course, the first album could be named after the artist because the record company artists like to put them. Let's tell everyone here am I and this is my music type of thing. But why they released later self-titled albums? I don't know, maybe they have reinvented themselves or reintroduced themselves to audiences. That could be case in some of the case here, or record companies are just too lazy to get any names for the albums. But let's see. Of course we have to start with Danny. This is Danny's third album from 1969, named Danny. This is compilation collecting his tracks from his singles and EPs, but his second album was already named Danny in 68 and the fourth one few years later was named only D. So Danny is the D man. This is quite nice pop Schlager tunes here. Then we have in same age group than Danny, we have here Kisu Järnström and his artist name was only Kisu. He made first album in 1971 and this is from 1980 and it is his 8th album. Only named Kisu. And this is like Schlager and maybe a little bit pop. Favorite song here is Mulla on muuta mielissäin. I haven't heard this album in few years, but maybe I should check few of Kisu's album. He made in 80s couple maybe little bit disco-oriented albums that I'm looking for. Never seen those on Wild. Maybe sometime I have a chance to see. And next artist is Eini, maybe my favorite artist of this bunch, and she made her first album in 1978 and that's of course called Eini and continued to make many albums and her 6th album in 1985 is also called Eini and this is really hard album to find as a LP. And maybe because here's Madonna cover Like a Virgin in Finnish Olen neitsyt and some other pretty good songs here. Eini didn't like this album and after this one she moved to go totally to Schlager and continued there until she came back reinventing her as a disco queen in Finland that she really is. Another Finnish famous artist and we are talking about Lea Laveen. Lea's made in early 70s couple albums and this is her 5th album. There was one compilation in between, but anyway, and this is named only as Lea. Lea's couple of first album were quite much there was rock oriented stuff. She had very powerful voice, but already in this album there was moving more to Schlager, but this had a couple of pretty strong funk tracks like Hävytön mies, it's Bring It On Up. So too bad she didn't continue in funk or disco. She had a couple of very good disco tracks also in later albums. This is from 1975 and I think it's a pretty good looking album cover here. And also her 70th album in 1986 was also Lea Laven, and 18th album also was Lea Laven. So they ran out of the names probably. Yes, from radio-oriented tracks here. I don't have that 70th album. Of course, there was a couple compilation between there, so it's difficult to track this album. Then Markku Aro. His first album was also called Markku Aro, and this is his 7th album, and is also again Markku Aro. And the biggest hit from this album was I'll Meet You at Midnight, Finnish version Keskiyön aikaan. That maybe is my favorite Markku Aro song. I have listened to this song this summer quite so much because we did a trip to Paris and Markku Aro sing about Paris in that song. And also Markku Aro's 13th album in 1985 was named Markku Aro. And last one is Taiska. She was very popular in late 70s and early 80s. And this is her second album called only Taiska. First album was of course in Mombasa in 1977. That was a gigantic hit here in Finland. This don't have so many hit songs here. Maybe Buukimies could be hit song here. Not my favorite Taiska album. I think the best one is Mun tie. That was her 4th album. So, here was little Finnish Schager albums for you. Difficult task, Morten, but it's now done. See you later in next videos in September. Mitä? Joo, mä teen tätä videoa nyt, ei pysty.